2/3 a person, rapings and beatings and suffering that worsens. Black human packages tied up in strings. Black rage can come from all these kinds of things. Black rage is founded on blatant denial, squeezed economics, subsistence survival, deafening silence and social control. Black rage is founded on wounds in the soul.
I want to take like a deeper look into the black male in the black family. And the reason that I want to do that, I'm the only girl. I have 2 brothers, and I've noticed the difference in girls and boys will say this anyway as well, the way parents would treat a daughter versus the way they will treat and raise a son. And for me, I've been very aware of what has gone on, and I've seen it, and I don't think it's fair. But more specifically, with the black family and the way the black family raises a son, the way the black family raises a daughter, it goes back to this Willie Lynch letter, where they're talking about raising up the daughter to be independent and raising up the son in a way to be dependent but physically strong. I see that in my family, but I see the damage that it causes to our entire generation, because here I am being raised as an independent woman. I need to take care of myself, get a job, make as much money. I can't rely on anybody. But my brothers seem to have a little bit more slack, whereas I'm 7 years old, probably know how to wash my own clothes and want to do that because, you know, it's my stuff. But for them, no matter what the age is, like to this day, my brother is like 16, you have to really say, like, wash your clothes. He doesn't know how to do these things for himself. So what happens is, because I'm like, you know, you're going to grow up and you're going to have to deal with someone. Someone's going to have to deal with you. What is it that we as black women are teaching these sons? Like, what is it? How do we fix that? Because sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not, and sometimes we're not doing anything about it. But it damages us. It damages our future relationships. That I have to meet a man and he's almost looking for another mother, not a teen. He's, you know, I can cook and clean and do all this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, what are you really bringing to the table?
Absolutely.
I can support you, I can be there for you, but I cannot be, nor do I ever want to be your mother.
Right. Well, you know, for me, like bringing back to the Willie Lynch syndrome, which has been ingrained in all of us. I'm still trying to break out of a lot of conditioning that I've had from growing up. I grew up Catholic, so I'm like way down the line from that. But it's a systemic thing that's been taught in us. We don't even realize how many generations back this goes. I was a single mother. I'm currently married, but I was a single mother with 3 children, a daughter, a son, and another daughter. My son, who's 15 now, has had half his life with me as a single mother, half with my husband. And, you know, the impact of having a father in his life is so great that, you know, there's certain things that I just can't teach him. I've tried to teach him certain things in terms of how to be a man, how to be independent, because I don't feel that, you know, just my daughters need to be independent and just my daughters need to learn certain traits and how to cook and clean. He knows how to cook. He does his laundry. They've been doing it since they were in middle school. You know, he cooks. He cooks actually more than my eldest daughter. You know, and I share in the values in terms of I don't want my daughters just to be domesticated and just book smart. You know, they get out in the yard and they do the yard work too. They do the trash and other chores like that.
Be well-rounded, everybody.
I'm trying. I'm trying, but I do see where it's lacking in other homes where, you know, they feel, oh, the son can only do this thing and the daughters only do that thing. And it does damage relationships in terms of where your roles are and how you communicate with your you know, the opposite gender.
That's actually how it is in my home.
Yeah.
I mostly do the cooking and I clean the kitchen and everything. My brother he takes out the trash and like does other like manly stuff. So.
But if we look deeper, deeper into it and how, because that'll be like very much so on the surface of the things, but the mentality that these men begin to have.
Well, I don't know, because we just stated that it was taught that teach women to be independent and men to be dependent. But if you think about Willie Lynch, that was to break down the black person. I feel like as women, we are mothers. We are mothers. We can't extract that from ourselves, because naturally, biologically, you just want to be. For me, I'm a nurturer. If I see a child and they're crying or something, I go up and I see, are you okay? Are you hungry? Are you tired? What do you need? What's going on? Like if I'm around like other women, it's that sharing, it's that love, it's that when I'm around people, like I cook, I like host dinners, like I live in a co-op. And I'm always, I'm like the mother of the co-op in a way, especially as black women. You know what I'm saying? Like we've led these nations maybe from the background, but in an aspect, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like in some ways we are denying ourselves our roots and are not denying ourselves our natural instincts, because I don't know. For me, I can't speak for everyone, but our black men are the underdogs of this country, and it's not something in the sense of how we're interacting with them and they're dependent on me, and if I allow him to do this, it's not even that. The country does that to them. The country denies them jobs. The country denies them the masculinity that they need. They label them hypermasculine, but that's because of the fact that they have no way to exude that in a way, because they can't provide. They can't provide, especially, I'm from this area, but I currently live in San Diego. I have a boyfriend, he is a black male, chocolate, strong, dread, natty man. And he can't get a job to save his life. For a long, he has one now, but, it's not something that he wants to do. It's not something that he in the sense, feels like he's the best at providing with. And I've been able to take on those challenges. I've been able to go there because people see me, they see a strong black woman, because that's the appropriated image that's being fed. You know what I'm saying?
Emasculating, like you said.
Yeah.
That he's not necessarily happy in where he is. Yeah. He wants to do, whether it's career-wise or holding down the household, he doesn't feel he can fully be that man if he's not doing, what he wants to do.
You have to empower them.
Yeah. My question is, but how do you, with you being his woman, his queen, right? Right? Not his goddess, right? Because that's what we are. Yeah. And when he was facing that, right, not the job, can't get a job, how were you treating him? How were you emotionally towards him? Well, I think I'm curious about that, because that's where I'm just curious.
No, at first, I was like, what is wrong with you? You can't get this right. What is wrong? I can get out here and get a job. We both black. Like looking at him like I can do this too, Right. But, as I started seeing, and he was coming home and just like getting quiet, like just like not talking, like starting to see the depression, starting to see the sadness, starting to see the weakness. In a way, like it broke me down, and I started to crumble under and start feeling that sadness too. And I realized I had to be strong for my man and support him and be like, look, baby, I know right now this and this is happening, but we gotta do this. We gotta do this. We're together with this, and like regardless of what they think, I know you're better. You know what I'm saying? And so I helped him look for jobs. Like I was out there with him, driving around, like sending out resumes, doing whatever we had to do to get that stuff done. And in the end, it worked out for the both of us. God bless. But for a lot of people, that's not the case.
Exactly. And that's the psychological.
We need to do that introspection.
Of what the black family. That's what has happened. Right.
Realize that. Exactly.
And that's
how
what it is.
We relate to each other affects the total outcome.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like I was raised by a single mother, so I was taught to do everything. I put up shelves. I was doing everything at 10.
Yeah.
So I always felt like I don't need a man for anything. I had a lot of single women in my family. I always say, when I go to a wedding, I get really excited because a lot of women I know are not married, but have children. And for the longest time, I always imagined myself with children, but never imagined myself with a husband. And then when I would get with men, and they will fall on hard times or wouldn't have a job. I'm like, I don't need you because you don't have a job. I can do this by myself. But that is the exact mentality. So it's like, how do we move past that? Because our men have been boxed. They can't do much.
On purpose.
On purpose. And that's why you have a lot of men who leave the family, and you're left, with a lot of women who are raising their kids on their own, because a lot of these men do fall under the pressure of trying to provide for their family. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? Like, do I hunt him down and make him feel good about himself? Or or what we do, we've been raised that way, to pick up the pieces and you move on. And you carry that family on your back. And I think that's what Black women are raised to be.
Yeah.
True.
We are.
Yeah, like, and just even shedding further light on that, then when the whole idea of, when you get it put on, you go get a white woman. That submissive factor. Like, this is you go out and all these men now, all our Black men are trying to be rappers and trying to live this extravagant life, be athletes, and then when they get put on, what they go do? That's the idea. Go find a woman that's submissive, that won't talk back, in the sense of like, not saying that all white women or other women outside of the Black diaspora are, but it's just the psychology of it all, and like how this has flipped it around where they don't even want to be with us once they get to that aspect.
So why do I help you? Right. So why do I help you get to this point?
Yeah.
Because that's happened to many women. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
Well, I've done what you've done.
Yeah.
And got left for the girl that looked nothing like me. I would say.
Yeah.
So it's like, so why put in all of this work? To, if this is going to be the mentality and this is the outcome of most Black men, and we get, we start thinking like that, why?
Well, I think that
why do we try?
Because we have to. But
Yeah,
at the same
we
time,
do.
we have to work better. So we have to be smart about who we're working with, because every man that you get with, when you meet him, is not going to be on the level that you are to be able to create those things. And we as women have to tap into those instincts. And then
Black rage is founded, who fed us self-hatred, lies and abuse, while we waited and waited. Spiritual treason, this